Hi, guys. We are back with Powerless by Lauren Roberts. We just finished chapters 24 to 34. I think I got it on the first try that time. This is episode 3, so don't start here. Go back and read, watch the other episodes. Definitely read the book through there because we're going to ruin everything. Um, this book is progressing very quickly. I just want to start off immediately with this section is all about the first trial of the trials that they have now found themselves in. What did you guys think of the first trial overall? Did you were you really into it? Did you feel like anything was weird? What were the vibes with trial number 1?
Not go how I think, like, when we were talking last week, any of us thought it was gonna go. At least I know it
Not at
didn't go
all.
how I was
Nope.
expecting it to go. Like, I think we were expecting a lot more competition between Peyton and Kai as opposed to the teamwork. Which, like, the teamwork was cute, just unexpected.
It was
Yeah.
very cute.
Oh, yeah, absolutely zero complaints about it being different than how I thought it was going to be. I thought they were going to get there, but I thought it was going to the the moments of boredom were going to be them fighting being a team. And I love that the moments of boredom were just like, we're a team. Let's go out and look for people to find their bands. Um I absolutely loved their moments together in this whole first trial. Like my heart just was just constantly squeezed with them snuggling or helping each other or dancing and talking about their favorite color. And was the favorite color thing slightly cliche? Absolutely. Did I eat it up? Absolutely. I loved it. Loved it. And his answer, guys, his answer. I'm out.
He's down.
That's
He's
it.
down bad. He's down bad.
End of episode. That's all. That's all we have to talk about.
Because we're here for it. I thought, yeah, I felt like it was dragged out, but yeah, it wasn't what I expected. I thought he would show up a little later and not so early. But yeah.
And we also we were talking about who we thought would die in this trial. And there was no part of me that thought they were all going to survive, and honestly, I think that it would have felt kind of cheap if they did. But when he killed Sadie, I was shook. And I think mostly I was surprised at how emotional it was. And on all sides, it was like Sadie is about to kill Peyton. And I wasn't really worried about Peyton, but Sadie's doing it because she feels like she has to. And then obviously Kai killed her because she tried to kill Peyton. And I love that Kai is just absolutely not. If you come for this girl, I will end you. But just Sadie dying and Kai having to do it and just Peyton being there and him being like, no, don't look. I was like, oh, I didn't care about Sadie at all, and why is this scene affecting me like this? But yeah.
How is Ace still alive? Sir needs to die.
I feel like before the end of the first trial, he was kind of the eye rolly, ugh, just kind of full of himself. But now he's clearly the evil antagonist, which I'm kind of I'm okay, I'm here for that. I was also very caught off guard by how awful he was at the end. He went from annoyingly cocky to absolute chaotic evil. He was like, no, I'm going to murder everyone that I can in this moment. Just
Sir.
what he did to Jax. I didn't think he was gonna make it.
I didn't know either.
I
My
think
my
I
jaw
did.
dropped. My jaw dropped. Because I was more
I
concerned of how Kai was gonna take it.
Yes.
My jaw also dropped, but I also refuse to believe a character's died for at least 15 pages
Mm.
after they get stabbed. And it was like 4 pages later he was okay. So I was like, I'm gonna keep going until he's not dead.
Yeah. I needed them to be out of the first trial before I believed that he was alive.
Mhm.
But Yeah, in that moment where Kai's like running with his body to the people, I was like, oh, this is not going to work. There's no way that this works. And I didn't feel like it was cheap that it did work. Like, I felt like the scene was actually very good because I was just like, oh, my heart. Oh, no. Oh, poor Kai. Um, and now I'm convinced Jax dies in this book. Like, it would be the perfect bait and switch. Like, oh, you think like Jax survived and now he's okay? Like, gotcha.
I can see that
Well,
happening.
and one of them has to, right? Because like otherwise, Kai, Peyton, Andy, and Jax are just gonna be like a big fun group together, like that aren't really ever gonna compete, at least in a way where they're in for each other.
I do anticipate at some point one of the trials being like, no, like you need to fight each other and there will be a winner. And like, I don't know if it will be like fights to the death specifically, but it will be like they will set Kai against Peyton. Like that has to happen. It will be like a no, you need to fight each other and one of you will win. Yeah. Um, how did you guys feel about Hera and how her story ended in the trial?
She was just in fire, which is like fine. Like it's a little. I just think there's only what 9 of them. It's hard to have one of the 9 main characters in the trials die off screen.
Yeah. And like we get the scene afterward, which I was thankful for, but I was very caught off guard when it was like, oh yeah, also Hera died. I was like, wait, what? Like she just died? And we didn't see it happen?
Like they were basically done, and neither Braxton did. Hera even have an armband anymore?
I think so.
Remember?
Did I thought Andy got Hera's?
I don't remember now.
'Cause Andy had 3 of them. Like Braxton and Hera were fighting, but I didn't. Braxton didn't have an armband, and I didn't think Hera had an armband. So like, why were they fighting? There was no armband to fight over.
Well, yeah, and that was like a very interesting part of the end of the first trial is like they were honestly like most of them were just going at each other because they wanted to. Like Peyton even says that like after the sun came up and they didn't have to keep fighting that they had to like pull them all apart, like pull them off of each other. Like Blair wanted her dead, like just yeah, it was like very very violent, which I think says a lot about this society that they all think that that's just like okay and admirable.
Yeah, Blair. I mean, what's it called? I think Hera. Andy must have had Hera's because she had 3, and I don't think she had Jax's. And the only people left at that point are Blair, Ace, and Hera.
Mm, that makes sense then.
It just
Yeah.
doesn't make sense why Braxton and Hera would be fighting each other because neither of them had armbands to take.
I think it was just the vibe of take out the competition, honestly. Like a lot of them were just like fighting each other to kill each other.
Like, the point of the game was to get the armbands, and neither of them had armbands.
Yeah.
So, like, strategically, it doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
And she was invisible, so, like, she didn't have to fight Braxton at all.
Yeah.
Bring up a good point.
And when she was invisible, all the other people that are fighting, like, she could have yeeted one out of Kai's back pocket so easily.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like getting caught up in the heat of the moment, or she was doing it because she felt like it was self-defense. Like if I can take him down first, then he can't take me down. But yeah, I mean, maybe it's just like a commentary on how like violent and awful and pointless like the whole trial is and like how the purging was originally. Like just absolutely pointless, just violence for absolutely no reason. Um
Which, but
I don't know if you guys had the same visceral reaction to the watching the first trial scene as I did. But being a theater kid, you know, they would always like record our performances, and watching yourself in like a theatrical performance is the worst. And I was just like, what fresh hell did they put together, making them all sit here and watch this? And I was just like, oh my God, how are Peyton and Kai watching these like beautiful, touching moments where they basically like realize that they've fallen in love with each other? And just like I'd be like in the back, just like Kit, just like staring daggers into the back of her head. Like if I were Peyton, I would have been like, get me out of here.
And
Flirting with
knowing that,
her
like, the
after it.
oh, no shame.
That's the that's the part that got me, like, that entire chapter afterwards where I was like, "So you just saw your brother, like, full on into her, like, randomly dancing, randomly cuddling, like, it's pretty,
Right.
like, clearly a thing, and then you're just like, "I'm gonna ignore that and flirt with this girly." What?
Someone make it make sense, because I can't tell if it's just like if this is like a simplistic YA boy who has never been with someone in his life and just like watched those scenes and was like, "Oh, look at them work together. That's nice. I'm still going to date her. Like she's still into me." Um or like is there something else with Kit? Like is there something going on with Kit that's going to make it make sense later, or is he just like this starry-eyed super obtuse boy that for whatever reason is into the silver-haired poor girl?
I know you've been sus about him since the start.
Well, and I don't know if it's just because like his motivations don't make sense and he's just going to be like a random boy too pure for this world, or if there is
Yeah.
something else.
No, I feel like you're onto something, and there's definitely the clues there. It's just I don't know. And you have to know, like, the king and queen watch these too. So I don't know how they feel about their enforcer hanging out with
Yup.
Peyton. The
Yeah.
the daughter of the healer that the top tier healer that they unalived.
The fact that there still hasn't been a scene where dad takes one or both sons aside and is like, "You realize neither of you can be with her, right?" Like, where is that scene? I
I
don't
just
know.
but where are the scene where like, what is the evidence that Kit is bad other than it just doesn't his current actions don't make sense? Like, I
That's
just
it.
he seems so genuine. Like, every time we get
Yeah.
a scene with him, I'm like, "Wait, why is he so cute?" Like, he's such a cutie, but he's randomly going after his brother's love interest.
Yeah, like,
I
is
th-
he really just naive and sheltered?
I think
Like
that's
how
it.
everyone else is saying he is?
Right.
Or is
There's
there
really
something
nothing else.
underlying? Yeah, but is there? Could there be?
No, 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 but that's what I mean, like, because Elena was asking, like, is there something else that he's done that makes me suspicious of him? And the answer is no. Like, I really don't have a good reason. It's just that his motivations don't make sense to me currently. Like, if he is just a boy
Yeah.
that's like fallen for a girl, this doesn't make sense. Like, I don't understand why he can't read the writing on the wall of like, dude, she's not into you. She's into him. Um, and just yeah, like his actions don't make sense to me, therefore I'm wondering, is there something else going on that would make it make sense?
Mm.
And, like, not against him being into her, because like, he can be into her while knowing that she's into his brother and his brother's into her. But, like, it's the lack of, like, any acknowledgement whatsoever that there's something with his brother.
Yeah,
Like,
and
just
I'll give Kit one benefit of the doubt, and it's that scene where Ace uses his dead body to
mhm,
trick Peyton, and
yeah.
she's very upset about it because I do believe that Peyton cares about Kit. Like I think they are forming a
Mhm.
friendship. Um, so I can totally see some like moony-eyed boy seeing that and blocking everything else out, just being like, "Oh my God, she almost died because she was so upset that she thought I was hurt." Like, wow.
Wonder if it's just like he's just ignoring. Kai and like the intentions that he has with Hayden because they are competitive. And we kind of saw that when they were training together. But I don't know if that's enough.
Feel like it is, and that's what's getting me. I don't know. But also, now I'm like, maybe there's nothing now, and we're just supposed to ignore like all of the question marks about how weird they're acting. And it's just, oh, he's into her, but it doesn't really matter in the long run because she's about to big betray him, and then that's his evil origin story. Which, like, I hate. Like, and once again, we've been super wrong about everything we thought was coming. But like, as soon as they were like, and you're super close with the princes, time to spy on him. You gotta flirt with him to get close. I was like, God damn it, this is Kit's evil origin story, and I don't want to be here for it.
Yeah, and like up until that moment I was like, well, at least she doesn't really have a reason to like, lead him on. And I was like, oh no. Now she really has a reason to lead him on. Like if he is just genuinely like the sweetest boy in the whole world, I feel so bad for him. Oh,
Badly. Like, and I know we were super pro resistance last episode, but now that we met the resistance, I'm like, wait a second, is this one of those books where we don't like the kingdom and the resistance is kind of questionable? Where we just like only like the main character and all of the organizations are bad?
yeah. I don't know what it is about the resistance. Are they bad? Or is there more that we don't know yet? Like, and by bad I mean, are they ineffective? Because I love
Okay.
how in this moment that we meet them, we realize, okay, it is just like a bunch of people left over that were working with Peyton's dad originally that are somehow still using this basement of this house where he died. Which okay, let's suspend disbelief because it's a cool like bookshelf that slides back and forth. Definitely there's no way that the king would ever find that. So foolproof. Um, but the fact that they were like, "Oh yeah, the like our plan at the ball went wrong," which we had kind of wondered, like if whatever they were doing went sideways because it seemed like it was silly. So it's like the first thing that they do goes poorly, and it seems like they think they're all just going to like introduce themselves to the world and then like gain political favor from the masses. And I was like, you like actually the bombs were a better plan. Like what do you think you're just going to be like, "Hey, we're ordinaries and we're here. Like you should totally support us cuz we're great." I was like, this seems bad.
A lot of things. First of all, the
It-
house really bothers me. Like, it really, really bothers me. Like, assuming they don't know it was the king that killed her dad, but he was stabbed, so it's like if you're a super secret resistance organization and like one of your head people gets stabbed in his home slash your headquarters, I think you move your headquarters.
Absolutely.
And
I don't care how cool your basement lair is, you build another one.
to also hope, like, I feel like the only reason they stayed there was to hope that she'll come find them, which
So,
just
okay, did they say that they were hoping she was going to come back? Because I don't remember that. I just remember them being like, "Oh, we thought you were dead," and then like when we saw your name like on the thing, we were like, "Oh my god, she's still alive." So I can kind of believe that if there was like a ton of blood and at least one dead body, maybe they were just like, "Oh, girl got," but it is still suspending
yeah,
a lot of disbelief.
like I agree. I think the assumption is that they do think she was dead, which like fair enough. Like they knew she was ordinary. Like if her dad died, then the assumption could also be that she died somewhere else. Which again, if that's the case, move your headquarters. But
been compromised.
she didn't
Like,
she didn't live that far away. Like the loot isn't that far from where she grew up. And unless silver hair is dumb more common than it seems like it is on the fact that they're calling her the silver savior, you're telling me not a single person who knew her growing up ever saw her at the loot and told her dad's.
It is a lot of suspended disbelief, right? Because she hasn't changed her appearance. She's not going by like another name. Like she's done nothing to pretend she's someone else. So it is like you do have to suspend your disbelief that like no one's even just like noticed her. And because it does seem like I'm really hoping that the resistance is quite large. Like for their plan to even maybe work, like they've got to have a lot of people. So you would think at some point people would be like, "Oh, is that like girl that died 5 years ago?" Like, oh wow. I will say that this is a similar situation for me as with Kit. Is it that the resistance is maybe like bumbling and not super well formed and like we're gonna see that, or is there something else? And I'm probably going down a rabbit hole with this line, but there was a moment where it's Callum, right? Callum is like the
The
kind of
new
the
Yeah.
leader.
spokesperson.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a moment where Peyton mentions, "Ah, yeah, when my dad died." And like Callum has a confused look on his face, and he takes like a moment before he goes, "Yeah." And then like continues talking. And my thought is, why is he
No.
confused when Peyton mentions that her dad died? Wait, what, Elena?
I just thought this was gonna be you saying that he's alive again.
Absolutely. Yes. No. I mean, okay. So
I knew
what
where this was going.
were we at a 60-40 in episode 1 and a 70-30 in the last
No.
episode? I will say I'm now at a 20-80. And it's really that line because the minute that they were like, "Oh yeah, like we thought you were dead." Um not once,
Hesitation.
not once does anyone say that her dad is dead. Not once are they like, "I'm so sorry about your father," or like, "Ah, yes, when we buried his body." No one says anything about him being dead. The first time that him being dead is brought up is when Peyton says that, and the response is confusion and a pause. And then yeah, sure. And it's like, okay, is he dead? Maybe. But if he is dead, what is the confusion for? Like, what is Callum
Mhm.
confused about? And I
There's
think
no other.
the only other thing he could be confused about is because Peyton says when the king killed my father. So is it the king part that he's confused about? Is it that he knows who
Oh.
killed her dad and it's not the king? It's got to be one of those guys. It's one of the two.
But how would they know if the king, like that, if it was the king? Because they weren't there.
Because possibly he's still alive and he knows who tried to kill him.
Mhm. Because dad said so.
Sense. Like what? Like where is he then? Because he's not part of the resistance anymore. Like they made
He's
that
not
clear. They were like,
home.
"Oh, he was a part of." Like it's past tense when they talk about him.
I could see a world in which they are continuing to use the basement of this house because suspended disbelief. They're like, this basement's so cool. Wait, what? What did you find, Elena?
I think it was one of its original leaders. That's why we are still in the house using it as a headquarters. Dumb. Like we did when he was alive. Is the line, Brooke?
But is that after she says that he's dead?
No, it's before.
Oh, all right. Well, then maybe
Sorry
it's
for
because it's
guessing.
not
I
the
was just
king.
excited. I think it's about the king.
It's got to be something. It's got to be something.
Yeah.
Like, what would he
You
be
Sorry for
latched
confused
on
snapping.
to
about?
I just
that.
got really excited.
Guys, leading
Elena,
up to this,
Elena
leading
wants him
up.
to be dead so bad.
Because it doesn't make
You want him to be dead so bad.
It's because I've led Elena astray with hoping that certain characters might not be dead for really, really long amounts of time. And she was upset with me. I get it. I get it. The PTSD. I understand.
I have no
What?
emotional connection to her dad like I did to other characters, but
Oh,
it just doesn't make sense. And he admits
the
like when
trauma
he
is
was
there.
alive, which makes it seem like he's dead.
Mm.
But also he doesn't say that they thought she was dead. He said when we found your father ... you were gone.
Yeah, but they do say we thought that you died. I know that's in there somewhere. They were like, "Oh, we thought you were dead."
Yeah.
Um So if if what he's confused about is the king, do we like does anyone have a thought of if it's not the king who killed her dad?
Someone that looks like the king because
Right.
Peyton was there. She saw the eyes, and who has eyes like the king?
But also would have been like 16 or 17 at the time.
But would be passable as like adult looking.
Yeah.
I don't think he has it in him. Like
We don't
he's
know
too
that.
cinnamon roll.
Again, we don't really know that because we're seeing it in the eyes of Peyton and Kai. We haven't gotten
And
his. We don't
and
have
like
his POV.
would that explain some of his weird motivations? Like is he trying to get close to Peyton because he killed her father? And I don't know what he's trying to gain by that, but I also don't know why he would kill Peyton's dad. I just have a lot of questions.
I just don't think it. I don't know.
You
I'll
don't
be
think it's
shook
Kit.
if Kit turns out to not be a cinnamon roll at the end. Cause like then there were no signs.
Yeah.
Kit
Yeah.
would, would make a really cute cinnamon roll.
Mm,
He wants to fight. He wants to be involved, but he
yeah.
has to be king.
Yeah. Does anyone else question his power?
The water
His
fire
double
thing.
Yeah.
wielding. How so?
Which
Like,
part
do
of
you think
it?
he has more than that?
Yeah. No, just
Elena,
No.
me.
no.
Well, because if it had more, Kai would know about it.
That's fair. Hmm. Yeah. I keep wondering what dad's power is too. We still don't know.
Still don't know. And if I'm gonna question anything about Kit's power, it's why he has two powers. Because everyone else definitively has one power, so it's weird that he has like two distinct things.
Well, right. And I think that's why I like it's setting me off is that it is a very unique thing. And why? Yeah.
No.
I don't know either. It just
Um,
seems strange.
it is strange. Back to the resistance. Did
Yeah.
you guys get bad vibes from Callum, just in general?
I didn't. Like I do feel like he has a secret and I do feel like they're
Yeah.
not telling her everything, which checks out to me, but I didn't get like sinister vibes from him.
Don't trust
I
him.
didn't.
Like the whole like I was best friends with your dad, but it was secret and I'm the leader of this organization. Spy on Kit.
Mhm.
What color are his eyes?
He's blonde.
Mm, doesn't fit. Oh, your eyes just.
Yeah, I feel like if he looked similar to the king, Peyton would have said something. She would have been like, "Wow, looks like the king."
Right.
He's
She
so
would have like
good
a
at
visceral reaction. Yeah.
Yeah. He is a mind reader, which makes him very powerful.
Mhm.
Yes. That's right.
Yeah. And like proved that he's a mind reader. Like he was finishing her sentences that she was thinking in her mind. So I do believe that he is a mind reader. Um
Wait, we're
so yeah.
he's not a psychic?
No, Jamie, psychics are very rare.
Only part of the resistance scene that I was fully on board for was that Lenny is part of the
Lenny.
resistance. An
Yeah.
I was
icon.
You know what? I had a split second where I was like, no, he isn't. And then I was like, I don't even care how cliche this is. I love it. Give me more Lenny.
In the audiobook, Lenny got like a southern accent and I was thrown off.
That's so funny. I've been giving him a Scottish accent in my mind for I don't know what reason.
I would have preferred a Scottish accent.
Is it because he's
Oh,
ginger?
it might have been that. Yeah. Western, huh? Like, or you said Southern?
Southern. Yeah.
Oh,
It was like, yeah, it was an accent, but it wasn't like a European type.
interesting. Does everyone else have like an American accent in the audiobook?
Yes. And Kai's voice
Oh,
is like very kind of boyish, but not like young
Mm,
boyish, but it's just like boyish in terms of like being charming.
okay.
Like it's not like a deep, like you know how like some audiobooks now are kind of like
Yeah.
deep, raspy male voice. No, Kai
They
is
describe Kit's voice as deeper, so I think of him as having a deeper voice and Kai as having like a lighter toned voice. But they're both English in my mind, and I think that's just because they're attractive. And if I have to come up with the voices in my head for most people and I'm not told, it ends up being English because I we all want to end up with Mr. Darcy in the end.
I love that too, but no, it wasn't an English accent.
Bummer. I'm gonna keep doing it in my brain.
Do it.
I'm gonna live my dreams. How are we feeling overall? I'm very excited to keep reading this book. I will say that there are moments where I have like the Lenny's part of the resistance. What? Never mind, I don't
Yeah.
care. I'm enjoying this. Like I have these moments where I'm just like, does it make sense? I don't know if it does, but I'm already reading the next page because I am invested. I am that invested.
I think it's genuinely entertaining, and I really like the individual characters. Like, if you don't think about them
Mm,
in terms of like relationships to other characters, sometimes, like specifically Kit and Kai, I'm like, oh, this character is enjoyable. Like, I am enjoying this moment.
mhm.
Just don't think about it in terms of an overarching plot.
Yes,
The
the
key,
scenes and the
right?
dialogue I absolutely love.
Yes. Their flirting is so cute.
Yeah.
Their
Well, even
band.
like I don't want to like Kit. I want to dislike Kit. I want him to give me a reason not to like him. And their scene in the garden was so cute. Like it was so cute. I didn't want it to be cute and it was cute.
So cute.
Mm, yeah. I immediately need more Kai and Peyton. Like immediately.
Yeah. To answer your question, I'm enjoying the romance
Mm,
of it. 'Cause there's definitely so many moments of just like hee hee giggling, kicking my feet. But the plot, hmm, I'm a little so on it right now.
yeah.
I think the plot, I'm like constantly teetering on an edge where I'm like, I can suspend this far, but like I keep waiting for the shoe to drop where I'm like, this doesn't. This is too far. Like, or like, I don't know. Like if Kit, if this is Kit's evil moment, I'm just gonna be unhappy.
I'm waiting for it all to like come together. Like at this point, I'm like, is it a plot hole or is it going to get filled in a really satisfying way? And I don't know. And like, you know what? Sometimes it's okay if there are plot holes. Like if the overall story is like super enjoyable and I get to the end and I was like, I was living for, if it's Kai and Peyton, then like I don't care. I don't care if the resistance was just bad. I don't care. I genuinely don't. But yeah, I am still at the point where I'm wondering like what are we building toward and where is this going? But yeah, at this point genuinely like I almost don't care if I can get more scenes of them like by that creek just like snuggling by a fire. Absolutely.
I I just also don't see how it ends well when Peyton helps kill their dad. I'm just not
Right?
looking forward to that drama.
And like okay, is there a world in which like the resistance is bumbling on purpose and Peyton can like help them be better or like make a better resistance with them? Like there's got to be something that changes the society, right? We don't like end this 3.5 book series and just be like, "Yep, ordinaries are still bad." But yeah, maybe she can bring some good change to it and be like, "We don't have to do it this way. We can do it this way." I don't know.
Maybe the king doesn't die in the end, but he loses his powers
Mm,
or
I
like
like that.
I
gains.
I'm also waiting for the moment we find out why we're killing all the ordinaries, because I think that's one of the big overarching questions, and which it's like become more and more clear as it's gone on that there's what the king is saying is his reason for murdering them doesn't seem to actually be the reason, and we don't know the actual reason.
Yeah, the whole disease thing is clearly made up, and I'm glad that they mentioned that in this section. It's like, yeah, if the ordinaries were diseased and like leeching the elite's powers, like there would be evidence of that at this point. Even just like at this point, what Peyton's been like around Kai and like the other elites that are in the competition for weeks, like we would have already gotten a scene of Kai being like, oh, weird, I can't sense powers as well as I can, or Andy being like, oh, my shifts are taking longer. Like, so it's very clear that it is made up, but why? Yeah. Is it just like the like political, oh, I just wanted to like get rid of the people that we didn't like, like just, just some fun genocide for fun genocide's sake? Or is there another
Right.
reason?
Like some type of control or
Mhm.
something.
Or
I
like
wonder.
did they find out that the ordinaries have the ability to like take powers?
Yeah, that's what I
Or
was thinking. Like, is it power in numbers, and that's why it's not affecting if it's just Peyton because she's just one ordinary. But if there are multiple,
yeah,
I'm not sure. I don't know.
there's got to be a reason. Yeah. But I am entirely invested. There's like no part of me that is thinking that I'm not going to at least finish this book and start the next one. Could the second book be absolutely awful? There's always a possibility. And like we'll get there when we
Oh,
get there.
then
But at this, I'm reading this book.
I think the novella's next, right?
Yes, we are going to do the novella next, just in case you're all like, heading to the bookstore or requesting your copy at the library. We are going to read Powerful next. We know nothing about Powerful, or I will say I know nothing about Powerful, other than that I
I was
believe
literally
it is a novella version of this book from a different POV.
I was
Oh, that's
literally
what you
pulling
know?
up the powerful summary.
No,
Don't
Elena. No.
do it.
Stop it. That face. That for anyone that's listening, Elena clearly just found herself a good old spoily.
Yep. Typical.
Tell you,
Typical. Don't say anything.
I don't know
I
for sure that that is the case, what I said. It's just that I know that it is a novella that comes in between Powerless and Reckless.
Reckless.
And I do know that it is from a different POV. So I'm assuming that it is something that we're seeing in this book from someone else's perspective.
We're good. That's
And
good.
Elena is shaking her head.
If you want to know the next section we need to read,
Yeah,
like
Jamie, what are we
it
reading
is
for next episode?
35 to 49.
35 to 49.
read the
Elena,
summary. It's so
no,
intriguing. It's so
absolutely
intriguing.
not.
It doesn't spoil
No.
anything for this book.
See, you know what the beauty of this is that you could find a summary for Powerful if you want to. So you, the watcher or listener, you go ahead and you look up the description for Powerful if you want to. But you know what we're not going to do? We're not going to read it here if you don't want to know, like me, Elena.
Me.
No one wants to know. And if they do, they can Google it or Bing it. Neither of those companies are
Does-
giving us any money, so I don't care which one you use.
It does kind of spoil stuff. Like I would have to give you an abbreviated version of the summary,
Ah. Why am I covering
but
my eyes?
it's not what I
Elena.
thought it was gonna be.
Okay, well, we're going to get there eventually. But first, we're going to read chapters 35 to 49. 35 to 49?
What
Yes.
if I told you
Yeah,
it was a Lenny POV?
Stop
absolutely
it.
not. See, now I know it's not. Okay.
You
35 to
don't know that.
49. Read those chapters and we'll meet back here and we'll see what happens. And we'll see how dead I think Peyton's dad is in this next section. But yeah, meet us back here and we'll chat. Bye, guys.